This week we got Gamescom. We're going to tell some tales, and Adrian's not here, and Gerado is instead, so he's going to get the brunt of my punishment.
That was terrible.
Oh, you're taking it way better than Adrian does. This is the 3G Collective podcast.
I'm still new at this, so I haven't gotten a chance to get tired of the puns yet.
Oh, you will.
I'm sure.
You will.
I'm sure.
So, everybody, welcome. I'm Jose Sandoval, and with me, correction, not like always, we have Gerardo Perez here. He's a good friend of mine and Adrian. He's stepping in for Adrian while Adrian takes care of some personal stuff. So he'll be here for 2 months. He'll be on the Backtrack episodes as well. And this is the first one we're going to have a little bit shorter, and all backtracks moving forward are also going to be audio-wise. So that way you have a little bit more content between these longer news podcasts. So, ready to get started?
Yep. It's
cool.
Good.
Like always, or like we've been doing, we're going to start with the new releases that you may or may not have missed. First, let's start with the announcement of the new Yakuza game coming out next year. Earlier in Japan, I believe, January. Collection-wise, we saw the announcement of Yakuza Remastered Collection, with Yakuza 3 being available now. Capcom has also announced a new collection of Mega Man Zero Z/ZX game coming out. The 6-game collection will be out January 21st of next year for $29.99. Mario Kart Tour Races is coming out of beta and into the phones of September 25th. Final Fantasy VIII has a release date coming out September 3rd, but it will be digital only. Not like anyone plays that. Adrian's not here to defend himself on that one. Coming out on October 10th is River City Melee Mock, a 4-player free-for-all fighting tournament game. Kind of reminds me of Power Stone. Because of Gamescom, we also saw Nintendo release their Nintendo Indie World Showcase with games such as Super Hot, Hotline Miami, What the Golf, Munchkin Quack Quest, all coming to the Switch. We also saw Microsoft exclusive Ori and the Blind Forest is now heading to the Switch. The new for Need for Speed Heat is announced, along with the announcement of Kerbal Space Program 2. Ooh. Also coming from Gamescom is Maneater, a game where you can live out your Jaws or animal attacking horror dreams, as long as it's not Sharknado. Mortal Kombat 11 is also getting 6 new fighters, with 3 of the more notable ones being Joker, Spawn, and Terminator T-800. There's also One Punch Man game coming out called One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. The Gamescom trailer showcases new fighter, Saitama, and some more gameplay. Okay, you were definitely excited for the Mega Man Zero/ZX.
I am. I did not know they were doing that. I bought the collection for both collections for the Mega Man X games.
Yeah.
Because I grew up playing those and I love them, but I never actually got a chance to finish any of them, even though I owned many of them. I never actually finished them. Mm-hmm. So I bought the collections, actually finished them. The Mega Man Zero and CX, I never had a DS, and I know those mostly came out on
they're all
DS.
like DS exclusives.
Yeah, so I never got a chance to play them, but they always look so good. Like, I had a friend that had a DS, and I would play on it, and it was so much fun. So I'm so excited this is happening, because I'm finally going to play them on the Switch.
And as much as I did joke about Final Fantasy VIII, I know Adrian's excited for that. I know he probably will be gone maybe more than 2 months than we thought, because he'll be playing Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah, it's coming out soon.
Yeah. And then the other one that I want to discuss, which is, so One Punch Man, how much do you know about this anime?
Not much at all, other than the premise of why the character is the way he is, and I've seen clips in here. Like, the fights look amazing.
What do you know about the main character?
I know that he's this super awkward dude, but he's like insanely strong, and all he did was like 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups every day or something like that, and run like 100 miles or something like that. And he's just insanely, like, ridiculously strong.
Yeah, he can take everyone out in one punch.
Yeah.
That's still in the game.
Wait, so how is that? Okay, how is that a balanced fighting game?
This is what I wanted to talk about, because that was hilarious. He's still in the game, but the thing is, it's called a hero is always late too. When you pick Saitama, he's not immediately there. He will one punch you and like just knock you on your ass, but he's late to the fight.
Okay.
So you have to play as another character
until that one arrives?
Until Saitama arrives. So you have to just last long while the other character is trying to beat you so bad.
See, are we speaking about the story mode or like whatever, like versus mode or like?
I don't know. It's versus mode, and the funny thing is with there was a Polygon article that was showcasing this, and apparently a lot of people are tweeting out, you just gotta learn the matchups. Smash community's like, we're banning this character.
Of course.
You know?
I mean, yeah, like how are you gonna do it like in a competitive aspect? I don't know. I have to say though, very brave of them and very like interesting to like stick to the premise of the show and be like, this dude is crazy overpowered. He can beat anyone in one punch. He's the same in the game.
It takes him like 2 minutes or more to get there.
Okay.
From what I'm looking at, it looks like he starts in and he's like, a hero's always arrives late. He's 2 minutes to get to the battle.
Okay.
And then he's in and it's one punch. So I think if you can knock out the character, it's fine. But I don't know how it'll work if it's going to be tournament play. One Punch Man is definitely like, I haven't seen too much of it. From what I hear, it's like a mixed comedy and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard as well.
I think they're trying to do the thing where they're making fun of like Dragon Ball Z and the whole like, oh, this is my power level, haha.
Yeah.
And when you have a character that literally can punch someone, and his whole thing is like, I just want to find a good fight. No one's gonna fight me. This is boring. Because no one can stand up. And even like people who are way overpowered and stuff like that, does not hurt him. Like he will take damage.
Yeah.
In this, but only a little bit, like a 0.1 or something like that.
I'm curious to see, like I said, how the versus mode is going to work, like not the story mode.
Earlier when we were talking about this, you were like, okay, what's with One Punch Man? Like,
I mean,
why is that a big deal? And then
another fighting anime game.
Yeah,
you know?
and then this thing, okay, I'm in.
Now I'm interested.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, Kill la Kill just came out with a fighting game as well. And
really? I didn't know that.
I don't know if it actually. I can't remember. Okay, maybe it didn't come out yet, but I know I played the demo on the Switch recently, and it looked okay. I played the demo and it played okay. Played somewhat true to the anime, but it was a little boring. It came out in July 25th.
But it wasn't. It was like, eh.
I don't think it was.
This one, I'm because it also, because of the comedy and feels like they're playing into it. I'm interested. I'm down to like try this. And who knows? We might do a video of like us just playing this game and seeing who can beat who by the time Saitama arrives.
It's gonna be very interesting. Like I don't know how seriously they're taking it. Like I mean, usually I feel like when people make a lot of the fighting games, they're obviously trying to aim for the fighting scene, like Evo and all those tournaments, because I mean you make a lot of money from that. But I wonder if for this kind of game, they were like, we know no one's gonna play this competitively. It's just for the story and it's gonna be funny. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, right.
And I respect that. I respect it. I'm not a big into fighting games. I'm not competitive with them. I only get competitive with shooting games. And then if we're talking fighting games, like just Smash.
I'm only competitive when people are on the couch and they start talking stuff. And it's like, all right, here we go.
There's nothing like playing FIFA and trash talking.
Yeah, right.
Amazing.
Mine is, Adrian likes to talk a big game, but I beat him once.
In what?
In Smash.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I beat him.
Ooh.
I beat him once. He's not here to defend himself still.
Okay, so you can say whatever you want.
No, well, I did say, like, I did beat him once.
You can say you 3-stocked him as well.
I don't remember.
He can't say anything about it.
Well, yeah, okay.
What's he going to do?
Yeah, he's just going to, like, come to the next one. He's going to be like, okay, I'm coming back just to make sure this is clear. No.
What if we have a
3G
collective tournament, Smash tournament?
Oh, I'll beat him.
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
All right. You heard it here first.
All right. Now on to the big news of the month. We got two decently sized stories. The first one we're going to talk about is TellTale, a new company known as LCG Entertainment has acquired some of the assets, trademarks, even some of the selected IPs.
Correct.
According to Business Wire, the intent of this purchase is of re-releasing select games from the studio's back catalog and developing new games in some of the company's best-selling brands.
Yes.
Are you much of a TellTale fan, or like?
No, I can never get into it. I mean, because it was always selling big on the your choice matters.
Yeah.
But at the end, it didn't really. I mean, the end of every story is the same regardless. It just changes little facts on like who's alive and who isn't. And I don't know. I wasn't super into it, but they were entertaining at least to watch. Like the stories were really well written. That's the thing. Like I feel like as a game, it was an okay game, but as a story, it was very well written. Like really cool stories, especially with things like the Walking Dead ones, or Wolf Among Us, or another one, Borderlands, Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh, Tales of the Borderlands, so good. That was mine. And it's one of those where it's like, okay, we'll see how this goes. I'm very iffy because a lot of people are saying, especially I saw this on IGN too, that's like, oh, Telltale's is coming back. It's being revived. And it's like, okay, it's not really being revived. It's been acquired. True. And the new company is making this.
Well, and the people that bought it is like, they're not even developers or anything like that. Like one of them, I think one of them worked on like mobile games or something like that. And then the other one was, what was it? Oh yeah, he was like a salesperson for the Havoc software. So it's one of those like, I don't even know if they had to write like pedigree for it. They could do some amazing stuff with that. I'm not denying it, but it's like,
it's weird because I'm looking right now at Business Wire because they do say who. Purchase led by Jamie Ottley and Brian Waldo, along with a pool of investors and advisors as well, with known names in the gaming industry. I don't recognize any of these names.
Yeah.
Though one of them is Athlon Games, which apparently they were a publishing partner of the original Telltale.
Oh, okay.
But that doesn't make too much of a difference. And even when I'm seeing here about the main CEO of LCG Entertainment, the brands and IPs that he's worked with are Hot Wheels, Tonka, Tyco, Matchbox. Game-wise, Calbuzz Deer Hunting, Calibuzz, Deer Hunter, Qbert, Impossible Mission, Battle Tanks. So it's one of these where it's like, okay, he says he has 20-year veteran with experience. This is his LinkedIn too. In video games, virtual wars, and toy creation. But it's still another thing where it's like, I recognize the Deer Hunter one because that feels like that bar arcade shooter that they always have. You know, it's like, okay, fine, yeah. But Telltale is like a whole different...
Yeah, I don't know how it translates because, I mean, I still think the biggest selling point of Telltale games is their stories. Because I don't think anyone really is like, oh my god, it's amazing gameplay, or is like, you know, it's a really good story that you just want to see through. And it's kind of cool. Even, like I said, I still don't think you never had like a big part in the decisions. I mean, you're still the one kind of pushing the story forward by doing the actions, even if they were like very simple actions. But like, yeah, with... I don't know how this people like they don't seem to have like a big pedigree on like writing really cool stories. It's also up to who they hire or contract for, you know, for the making of the new ones. It'll be interesting, especially with the IPs that didn't get as much attention as they should have, like Wolf Among Us and like Tales from Borderlands.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to see. Don't quote me on this one. That Tales of the Borderlands was not able to be get because one of the things that happened when the Telltale went down is all these IPs got licensed to them.
Well, I know Skybound, but
Skybound got theirs.
Walking Dead.
Yeah, Walking Dead.
That's why like they're not going to be doing anything with Walking Dead.
Yeah, but I do know that what's it called? The one that you were saying.
Wolf Among Us.
Yeah, they did get that one back.
Yeah, and that's a big one that. I never played... Okay, I played Tales from the Borderlands is the only one that I played. And I didn't even finish it.
Which is a good one.
I was playing with a friend. Like, I was just like... We were just more like... We've never seen the story of that one game. So we're just playing it together. Like, we would switch controllers and get to make the decisions. And it was a very cool story. Like, I really enjoyed it. But, like, I've seen a playthrough of Wolf Among Us. And it was a cool story. Like, really cool concept. I know it's also based on a comic book.
Yeah.
So
they get the original IPs, Wolf Among Us and Batman. That's according to GameIndustry.biz. But
I heard that the Batman one wasn't that great though. When it came out,
first one I heard was good. Second one I heard was iffy.
There was more than one.
There was 2 seasons.
Oh yeah.
The second season was the one where you like made the Joker. The first one was something else. It was one of those like, oh, this is kind of like an original story series. But then
I did like the art style though.
Yeah, well, it's self-stated. You can't go wrong with that.
Well, especially with
my thing
stuff,
is with this, they say they're gonna get key people back. And they say they're going to see what they're going to announce in a few weeks. But as of now, it's like, I don't know if I have much hope. I like Telltale games. I played Tales from the Borderlands 2. It was great. It was super creative. Finger guns. Let's all remember finger guns.
Great scene.
But it's one of those where it's like, it's a wait and see. I'm not going to be too happy about it yet. Especially because it's not like the original crew. These people all got fired.
Yeah.
If they
in
can
a very
all
awful
like
way.
even the CEO is like, we can't really bring everyone back. You know, that's not how the world works. You know, it's not Sims. Fire. Nope. All you guys good. You know. So it's gonna be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, me personally, like, I never really care too much for the games or anything. It's just I know they were very popular. Like another one, the Minecraft ones I know were very popular.
I think those were taken down.
Yeah,
because those are gone now. Microsoft took those away.
Yeah, but I know like people really enjoy those games, and it was just such a shame the way that that company went from being so big and so like they were acquiring all these IPs and working all this stuff, and then suddenly
they were gone.
Oh, gone!
Like it was just some
blink of an eye. Like
one day
the company went under.
Gone.
So it's definitely a shame, and I hope nothing but the best for them. But I'm also not. I'm not too like hoping for too much. I'm not expecting too much. We'll see what happens. Like, I know there's a lot of stories of like companies being bought and then being made better, and then a lot of them being made worse.
Yeah, because even the new Walking Dead from Skybound, I heard was pretty bad. And
well, it wasn't necessarily a new one. They just finished whatever TellTale was kind of working on.
And it was not that great.
That's what I've heard as well, yeah.
But yeah, so that's, like I said, that's more of a wait and see, but that's still an interesting story nonetheless, and it's going to be, all right, I don't recognize any of these names, even though they say veterans. That just means they've been there for a while. But
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I feel like if you were to tell me the people that worked in the original TellTale company, I wouldn't recognize them.
It's not like, because it's not like notable veterans. It's not like, oh, we got, I'm trying to think, Cliff Bleszinski out of retirement into this, or, something like that. Okay. Or Hideo Kojima or something where it's like, they're veterans, but they're more noticeable. These, I'm like, okay, they're veterans, but I don't know any of the ones they worked on. It could be like they made the series what it was, and it could be good. But also, like, it's just one of those. TellTale had a very special feel to those games. They're very much story first kind of things where it's like
very emotional stories as well.
Yeah.
Even Tales from the Borderlands, which was very comedic on the surface, had a pretty deep story. There,
Yeah, even though like the end scene where it's like, oh wow, you kind of stuff like that. I don't want to get too much into it, but you know what I'm talking about on that, where it's like. Oh yeah, okay. So this went deeper than I thought. Okay, cool. Other big news of the month, and we'll just is Gamescom. Gamescom just passed last August. This might be out by the time in August. We'll see. So Gamescom just happened. There's the correct way to say it. And 3 things I want to talk about. The first one is okay. Me and Adrian have talked about this multiple times, so we're just going to touch it for just a minute.
Okay.
Cyberpunk 2077 coming to the Stadia. How do you feel about that?
It seems like a lot of big titles are coming to Stadia or keep getting announced for Stadia. I still don't know how I feel about Stadia as a whole.
I think me and Adrian are more negative towards it, saying like, hey, this is because of the ISPs, and especially here in Vegas, where Cox definitely says, hey, you don't have unlimited, even their unlimited is not really truly unlimited. So it's one of those where it's like Stadia don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. Is like I think it's a cool idea, and if it works, it's gonna be honestly pretty amazing. But I don't know if it's gonna work. And then I mean, there's also the gray area of like the whole you don't own the games anymore. Yeah. So
now with Cyberpunk 2077 coming to it, that's such a big game. I can see that pulling some people in. So that's very interesting to hear that happened.
Very interesting, especially also because for me that one. Well, I know I'm sure you guys have talked about when you talked about the whole Stadia situation. Is like the biggest issue is like input lag and that kind of stuff. Which with a lot of games that they've talked about, like Destiny, for example, is coming to Stadia. It's a shooter. It's a competitive shooter. Latency matters a lot for you to be accurate. Yeah. In something like a single player, sometimes you can deal with it a little better. Even though this one's a first-person shooter, like story game, but like you still got to be accurate with it. So it'll be interesting how it plays out. My biggest thing that does interest me about it is every time that I see anything in any trailer or gameplay for Cyberpunk 2077 is that it looks very demanding of your system. Yeah. And for example, my computer, it's a pretty good computer, but I've had it for a while now. It used to be really good when I got it like 5 years ago. Now it's a good computer. So I'm always afraid, like, man, this game looks awesome. It's supposed to come out later this year. I'm so excited. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, will my computer be able to handle it? I don't know.
And the Stadia can fix this.
With something like Stadia, it's like I just pay the service, I either pay the service or buy the game on it, and I know it's gonna run like, or according to them, it's gonna run like super smooth, crazy good graphics at 60 FPS, which is mostly what I want or what I need. So it's honestly very interesting and very enticing for me. Like I want to try the service when it comes out. I'm really curious about it. I don't know how it's gonna perform though.
Now, all right. So, kind of on the same train we are, but not as hateful as we are regarding this. As like, I don't think we hate it. It's just one of those. We want to see the tech, but we don't think it's gonna work.
Yeah, it's too idealistic.
So yeah, the other thing, and this probably for a hot minute because this is one of those stories where it's like about time kind of story. Insomniac Games has now been acquired by Sony.
Mm-hmm.
These are the guys who did the Spider-Man game and Ratchet and Clank.
And Resistance: Fall of Man.
Oh, did they?
Love that franchise.
Really? I
very underrated.
I forgot about that. But yeah, this is just one of the quick ones where it's like, yeah, I could see that. Don't know how they weren't already.
It was about time, and I'm sure they're now working. If Sony is really coming out with a new console soon, the new PS5 or whatever, I'm sure one of the reasons why they acquired them is like since Spider-Man was such a big game, I'm sure they're working on making the next Spider-Man game a launch title for the new console. And what better way than acquiring the company?
You think a launch title?
I think so.
I do think they're going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
I do not think it's going to be a launch title. Of course, they're going to make it. It made money first off. But it's like, I feel like they're going to focus on that. I wonder how much free reign PlayStation is giving to these guys. Mm-hmm. Because it did feel like when they were talking about making Spider-Man, that they were like, hey, Sony came to us, said, what do you guys want to do? We have these licenses. And they said, can we make a Spider-Man game? And they're like, yeah, go for it. And so they spent so much time doing it themselves. With Sony acquiring it, I hope that Sony is not pulling a Spider-Man 3. You know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, Sam Raimi, we want you to include Venom.
Yeah.
I don't want Venom. I want Sandman. Include Venom. All right. You know?
I could see it going the other way. Like, Sony could be, especially since now they own the company, and also since the first one was such a big hit, which I'm sure Sony wasn't even sure if it was going to be or not. Since it was such a big hit, they might want to have more hands on it now because they're like, oh, this is a, moneymaker, so we want to like squeeze as much as we can out of it. So they might have more of a hand on it. Or, and this is what I would hope, they would trust the company that made the money and be like, you know what? You did so good with the previous one. Do what you need to do with this one. We trust you. That's what I'm hoping for. That being said, why don't you think launch title though?
It doesn't feel like it. It feels like they did set up a couple things, even with the DLC. They set up some good stuff. But it's one of those where it's like, okay, the DLC felt like, it didn't feel like they took a long time working on it. It's like, okay, we have already this. We're just going to change some like stop stuff. So this isn't spoiler, it's Hammerhead. But in one of the games, it's like the Mafia. And then it's the Hammerhead's Mafia crew from like these regular ones. And it's like, okay, that didn't feel like too much of a change, So I can understand DLC came out pretty quick, like every other month or however it was.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man itself, because I know a lot of people might be like, oh, they have to improve something. But I feel like they have to find out where they're wanting to tell the story and what they're going to need to make for it. Because there was quite a bit of stuff they set up where it's like, okay, who's going to be it? Because it's not Sinister Six, because that was the one that they just did. It's not really a spoiler-ish, because you kind of already see in the trailer that they have Mr. Negative, Vulture, and all this other stuff. So yeah, it's a Sinister Six.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, who's it going to be? Is it going to be this character coming back? What are these characters going to do? Is it going to be Green Goblin? Because we all see Harry Osborn, and he hasn't changed yet, and he doesn't change, or does he? If you haven't played Spider-Man, just in case.
Good save.
But yeah, right. It's one of those where it's like, okay, depending on how they want to take it, is where it's going to be like, okay, I can see them taking a while.
Yeah.
Will they reuse some assets? Maybe. Are they going to change some stuff to the swing? I don't think so, because it felt pretty good.
Yeah.
They might do some little tweaks to the combat and stuff like that, but they also have to do some changes to set pieces to make it grand and like pretty good, because that was a very grand story.
See, but okay, and here's my counter argument. Why I do believe it's going to be a launch title.
Yeah.
I'm sure Insomniac has been working on it on the sequel since even probably before the game launched, because there was a lot of buzz around the game already before it launched.
Yeah,
there's such a success. I'm sure they're already working at least in the pre-production aspect of the game. Sony acquired them, which means they're probably going to pump more money into it. And I feel like, one of the reasons Sony would acquire them is because they would want it as a launch title, mostly because it's a game that was very unanimously loved. Okay. I don't think anyone had anything hated it. Some people maybe were into it, but no one really was like, "Oh, this game sucks."
Yeah, no, you could see, you continuously saw like Instagram those pictures with the filters on Reddit for months after.
The other thing is that the game is very it has a very broad audience in terms of age because it's
Spider-Man.
Isn't it teen rated as well? The game
I believe so. Yeah, it's teen rated.
So that's the thing is like it's a good launch title because it's something that a lot of people loved. It goes or it targets a broad audience, a very broad audience. So like, you know, for parents getting the console, the new console for their kids.
Yeah, T-rated.
Boom. Yeah, there you go. Launch, you know, like that way, you know, launch title with it coming with like bundle with a game. I feel like it's gonna sell consoles. I know for me it will, for sure. I want to play it.
Well, so, I'm already getting the PS5. Like it's kind of one of those. PlayStation has done so well this generation to convince me we make our good first party games.
Yep.
To a point where it's like, you know, Nintendo, where it's like, if I want Nintendo games, I'll get a Switch, which I did. If I want, and then PlayStation and Xbox, it was one of those like, okay, which one do I want? Because they kind of play the same games.
For the most
part,
then
Sony came and said, hey, we have, you know, this Spider-Man, we have God of War, we've
Uncharted, Last of Us.
We have all of these games here, and we're like, all right, you got me. Well, Microsoft is like more, hey, we have it, but it's compatible with switching to Game Pass and with PC and stuff like that.
And that's the biggest thing. Yeah, like, it's on PC as well. So like, I already have a PC, so I have no need for an Xbox. So, but I don't know. But going back to like, the Spider-Man thing, I definitely think it's gonna be a launch title because like you said, like a lot of the things are already there. Graphically, it stood really well. Like they can just upgrade the models a little, but the engine for it, I feel like it runs perfect. Like, or for the most part, perfect. Like they could tweak the swinging and you know some of the combat, but I feel like most of it is there. All that they need to add, and all that I'm asking, and I feel like most of the audience is asking, is just more story. That's all we want. It's just more story, and for that, it's pretty easy for the most part. So I don't know.
We'll have to see this upcoming December. Was it this December or next December where the Sony said they would announce something?
I have no idea. I've been terrible at following that.
Yes, I know they have some plans, but we'll see. And then final big news from Gamescom was the Marvel Avengers 19-minute gameplay demo trailer. Did you see any of this?
No.
Okay, so here's my thing. How did you watch E3, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how did you feel when they announced the Marvel Avengers?
So when they announced it, it's a little bit out of left field for me. I wasn't expecting it. It looked interesting. I mean, I know we've talked about this off camera. Like, I'm not a big fan of the character design. A little too uncanny valley and how close they resemble the MCU actors, but not close enough. So it's a little weird. The gameplay on the official trailer that they released on E3, it looked very bland. It looked okay. Yeah. I was more interested in the leaked gameplay that someone recorded on E3.
This is my thing here, which is I was worried because this is not Spider-Man, which is, Insomniac spent their time on Spider-Man. They made Spider-Man swing. They made everything feel good.
They made you feel like Spider-Man.
Yeah. Now you're asking Square Enix to come in and whatever the actual developing under Square Enix is, or whoever that is, to say, okay, make an Avenger-feeling game. But I know a lot of people were like, well, I want to feel like Iron Man, or is that thing of like, do you want to feel like Iron Man, or do you want to feel like an Avengers? And when they're going to Avengers, and this is the thing, they seem to be swapping different gameplay styles, which it reminds me of like one of those. It feels like it looks like PS4, but it has PS2 gameplay.
Okay.
Where because of the Switch, you don't really get a chance to fully immerse yourself as like, oh yeah, I'm the Hulk, It's like, okay, I'm going to be Thor. I'm going to beat up these guys, throw the hammer. Okay, I'm going to be Tony Stark now, and he's doing this weird like flying kind of level and shooting stuff. All right, now I'm going to Hulk, smashing stuff again, similar to Thor. Captain America kind of fighting again. It's like, okay, it really depends on how the game feels. Because of now, it looks bland. It doesn't get me interested. I'm not too much on the Uncanny Valley. I'm just like, you have so many gameplay systems here where
you don't have a chance to polish any of them kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like, how is like... Because I'm coming into the mindset of like Spider-Man and those other good, Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. These games where you take on the role of a hero and you upgrade them. How are you going to upgrade them what's going to move over? Are you going to have enough time to upgrade Cap to some like really good abilities or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, and I'm also curious, at least I remember from the E3 trailer, but I don't know if that was like the intro mission, but it seemed like, the story made you switch between all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if in the new trailer, whatever they show at Gamescom, if you see more like, will you get a chance to choose who you want to be?
You didn't. It doesn't look like that.
See, and that's also the problem. Like, it might be one of those like, man, I love playing as Captain America. Like his playstyling, it's so much fun. Oh, you gotta be Hulk now. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like, how much are you gonna force me to do this? You gotta make everything feel good.
Yeah,
and that's a pretty big ask. So
you might run into a situation kind of like how a lot of people in the Spider-Man game, like what people more unanimously seem to complain about is the sections where you play as MJ or
where it's like these are a little too
Miles.
slow and stuff like that. It works there. I don't know, because they're also small sections. I don't know how Marvel is gonna do it with that.
True.
Marvel Avengers.
And the thing is that a big thing in Spider-Man is like a big chunk of it is just the open worldness of Spider-Man. You can do where you want.
This one, it didn't seem like it was open world. Because it definitely had the feeling of like, arena style. Because it's like Thor's surrounded by cars and he's just now beating them. Yeah. So
and it also, I don't know, from the trailers, it feels like one of those games that you can probably beat in a couple hours. Like it's one of those kind of like what was that game? Xbox launch title, Rise, Son of Rome, or whatever. Yeah. That kind of, it gives you kind of vibe, like very cinematic, very like atmospheric. But at the end of the day, it's just a lot of cutscenes, kind of short gameplay, very simple gameplay. It's more of a cool story kind of thing. I feel like that's kind of what's going to end up happening with this Marvel game. But we'll have to see.
And all right, and we're going to end with our typical quickfire news. So, Gerardo, just so you remember, I'm going to read off a bunch of stories, just some kind of headlines real quick. Just say stop when you want to reach an interesting story that you find it's interesting that you want to discuss. We do not have to hit all of them. We do not have time to hit all of them. So, here we go. Okay, let me actually, because this is one that's taxing on my voice.
Water break.
A game called Mizuruma Falls, which is a Japanese Twin Peaks-like PS1 game, had an incomplete patch that let you play the game, but it is now gone over a feud. Adobe and web browsers may have dropped support for Flash, but open source emulator Ruffle is being created to still visit those old Flash sites and play those classic Flash games. Metroid 2033 is getting... Metro, thank you. 2033 is getting a movie coming out in 2022. And speaking of movies, the Uncharted movie has lost another director, but PlayStation Productions have now stepped in to help with the production for the Tom Holland starring film.
So, okay, I want to talk about that one. I had no idea Tom Holland was involved in the Uncharted movie.
Yeah, he's Drake.
Since when?
He's Nathan Drake.
When? Like, when did they announce that?
They announced that a while back. I can't remember.
I remember when everyone wanted Nathan Fillion to be...
Oh, yeah, but Nathan Fillion released like a 15-minute internet film, which shows like, okay, I can see he is really good for the part. Yeah. Tom Holland's the one where I'm like, I'm not too sure.
I feel like he's too young for the character as of right now, but I have to say, like, Nathan Fillion might be too old, at least, depending on what Drake you want to play. If you want to play, like,
Yeah, it depends if this is like Drake's... I feel like that's what's going to happen. It's not... Because the games felt like, this is Drake. He already going after his fortune. He's been through stuff. This is going to be like his first
backstory.
Adventure.
I could see that. And Tom Holland, I think, would be good also because of his athleticism. And,
like one of the early stories with Scully or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited. I didn't know Tom Holland was involved with it, but I know that, that movie has been in production for the longest time.
Ever. Yep. All right, back into it. If you are a Mixer partner, you can now make at least $3 if you get others to sign up for Xbox Game Pass. Remember the extended warranty and replacement plan as well. That's a little joke. They don't have that, but yeah, you do get $3. Warner Brothers has opened WB Games San Diego that will focus on free-to-play mobile games in a move that's said to surprise no one. And one that is a little surprising, EA and DICE are still updating Star Wars Battlefront 2 with new maps and 2 new modes called Co-op PvE mode and one that's called Instant Action, and ending with some good news. The Riot class action lawsuit that deals with gender discrimination and sexual harassment has been settled, with representatives from the Riot walkout stating, "We believe the policy changes Riot agreed to make will continue the progress towards equality that we've made over the last year."
That's a good note to end things on.
Yeah, right. So everybody, that is it for the 3G podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any stories that we may have not covered, let us know. Send us an email at 3gcollective@gmail.com. That's the number 3, gcollective@gmail.com. I'm Jose.
I'm Gerado.
Thank you guys for watching /listening now.
Bye.